Good morning. This morning we read Ezekiel's chapter 47 and 48. The first vision in chapter 47 is of the river flowing from the temple. It's a deep river, not ankle deep, not knee deep, not just waist deep, but a river that has to be swimming. There is a vast supply. And it's a river that brings life. It flows through the land, and trees grow on each side of the river. It even flows into the Dead Sea and brings life there. The river of God brings life. Where there was death, the death of sin, the river of life flows and brings life. Where there were swamps and marshes, the river of God brings life, brings fruitful trees. The river of God, pictured here and in a parallel passage in Revelation, shows us how God's river flows out for the healing of the nations. And Jesus said he's the one who gives that water. He's the one who produces those rivers of living water that provide life where there was once death. We come to the river. There is a river that flows from God above. There is a river. Come to the river. There is a vast supply, the songwriter wrote. We come to the God's river and we receive refreshment. And then we see the dividing up of the land. And there's an interesting little point here that is worth us noticing, that the land was to be distributed to all the people who lived in the land. Even foreigners received an inheritance. All who God called into his kingdom received an inheritance in his kingdom. Not by genetics, but by calling. And all who God calls into his kingdom today receive an inheritance. The true church is all of those who God calls together. Jew or Gentile, black or white, slave or free, barbarian, Scythian, whoever you are. God calls you into his kingdom, and you receive an inheritance along with all of God's people. Then the division of the land. Each tribe gets its portion. Each place gets allocated a entrance to enter into the temple. There's a way in for everyone. All of God's people have access to the Father. They have a gate through which to enter. The gate is the Lord Jesus. We all enter through him. But each of us has a route that God brings us to the throne of God. The city that we will dwell in will be the city of God. The name of the city for all eternity will be the Lord is there. We go to a city to dwell with him, to have access into his presence through the gates prepared for us, whether we are foreigners or born in the land. God has called us together to be his people and allocated us a portion within the city. That city, which is named the Lord, is there.